a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit. Never been a threat.
Karma. That's
There we
karma.
go.
I
I'm not
deserve
moving
it.
anymore.
I deserve it.
I'm not moving anymore.
I got called out for it. Welcome back to Veterans Minimum. Everyone says I'm a lazy piece of shit, and I always make George come on over to this side for like a year and a half. Karma, I deserve it. All things Veterans Minimum at Veterans Minimum. Shout out to all the fans on the You're Welcome Network. Shout out to all the fans in Discord, Patreon, Facebook, LinkedIn now. We're getting our professionalism on over there.
Facts.
Twitter, I'll never call it X the same way I'll never call it the Crypto Arena. I'm calling it the Staples Center. Instagram, TikTok, we're not banned.
Yes.
Shout out to the social media gods. We're still on TikTok. All things Veterans Minimum. I have Veterans Minimum. George, as always, in the building. George, what's good, bro?
Dude, I have to ask you right off the rip, what is up with your eye? Because these cameras are 4K. You can't get away with like a little bit of pixelation. Your eye, your right eye is red. What happened?
People's eyebrow over there. I got poked in the eye, man, in jiu-jitsu. You know what's crazy? Everyone always thinks I'm high.
Really?
Yeah. From a young age, I would have the worst allergies of all time. Like, really bad. I would have to get shots. Them shits never worked. I would take Allegra, Claritin, Zyrtec, Benadryl, all that shit.
You were
Bro,
popping pills.
I was popping pills. It's the only medication I would take on a consistent basis. Like, I hate taking pills. When I tore my ACL, they put me on Percocets.
The good shit, bro.
I took one when I got home because I was in mad pain. And bro, the moment I took it, I just felt so shitty. Like my whole body I just felt like I drank a gallon of expired milk. Like I just felt so bad. And I told my mom, I was like, man, just throw them shits out. I don't want, I'll just man up and deal with the pain. And that's what I did because I hate taking pills. But bro, my whole life, I just looked so awful with pollen in the springtime until I moved out to Vegas. Haven't had no issues, which I'm so happy for. Because also these fucking, 12 pills of Allegra is like $28, bro. It's expensive, but I needed it. So my whole life, everyone is like, yo, this kid's fucking baked. No, I've never done any drugs.
It's so shocking to me. And I brought you over to my house one time, and we were definitely smoking weed in the house. And, that was like a big step because I kind of didn't tell you about like, hey, this is the way that I'm going to operate in my house. But you were very gracious. It's not like you were like, oh, my goodness.
Yo, listen, one thing for me,
Yeah.
I don't go into people's cribs and tell them how to live.
Fair enough.
Right? You see a lot of times people go visit other countries and they're like, how dare they believe this? It's like, bro, don't go into other people's places and try to change their ideologies. I don't agree with what happens overseas in other places, but I can't go over there as a foreigner, intruder kind of, and be like, nah, you got to do this way. What makes what we're doing any better?
Right.
So I can't go into your crib and be like, George, bro, don't do that. I will say this. I went to a buddy of mine's house because fucking people in Nevada love guns.
Correct.
I didn't grow up with gun culture. I went to a buddy of mine's house. He's a former Marine. He's a cop now. And he had like handguns on the table and we're going to watch UFC. And that was the first time I was around guns on the table. I felt very Republican, I'll be honest with you. That was the most Republican.
Hat on?
Yeah, I had the Dipset hat on, being confused for a MAGA hat, the red cap. But dude, I was over there and like, bro, I was like shaking. I was so nervous. He's like, yo, what's wrong? I was like, this is kind of crazy, bro.
Arsenal.
Like this is wild.
Looks like a Call of Duty creative class, bro.
And then I go into his garage and he's showing me fucking like, bro, this is a scar. And I was like, oh, I thought it was just a Call of Duty gun. And it was a real gun. Right. So, but also different beliefs, culture of gun culture. He's a trained professional. But to me, it's like, I can't tell him, oh, don't do that in your own crib.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I know I kind of took you guys off on the rails, but
No. I think that was a good little insight in there. And by the way, I don't think you would like need to you weren't the person that like made subtle hints at, oh, I don't like what's going on right here. I don't think anybody really would go into somebody's house and go, oh, stop doing that. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a pregnant lady, maybe. But, you know, it's a little like, you know, the people that just turn their heads or, you know, I think I gotta leave. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Bro, listen, bro, when I was
2025 we're living.
Yeah. Yo, when I was younger, bro, I used to like my friends that would smoke weed, I'd be like, ugh. Or like a girl would smoke weed. And as I got older, I realized how many people do it. I'm like, it's not crazy. It's just not for me. So I like the booze. Not that drinking's any better, but give me a 6-pack of Blue Moons and some fucking
No cigarettes ever?
Nah, man. My parents are still smokers to this day, and like growing up, I'd go to middle school at 12, 13 years old, and I'd smell like cigarettes. And I just always hated it. And then growing up, not knowing the game now, knowing how many athletes actually indulge in marijuana, I used to be like, I want to go pro. I can't smoke weed.
I used to think that too, Nick.
Because I had friends. I had
For
friends
sure I used
that
to
would.
think that.
I had friends that would smoke weed, and they'd be the most unproductive people on the planet, and that's what was happening. And,
Yeah, bro, because they were smoking weed at 13 years old.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like I would
they
hear
started
stories. Like
very early.
I had some friends that were like
They
really
had a
good
head start.
athletes, and then they fell in love with the marijuana, and then it led to a gateway drug and all that shit.
Can I tell you one thing?
Yeah.
Every great player that played at Cheyenne High School with me, I mean,
Used to
bro,
burn it down like Seth Rollins.
it would be comical after like Friday nights. We would all get together and it was just like, we were like 16, 17, you know? I'd like to think I'm productive now. Some of us didn't make it though. Out of that group, statistics work, that little bell curve thing, law of averages. I'd like to think I'm on the outlier of productivity, but there's a lot of people that, didn't make it past that, high school stage. They were bro, they're still they're still doing that shit.
They're
But
still
anyways,
doing that. Announcement.
yes.
A. Phillips, congratulations. You won the week 4 NFL contest. Remember, it's in the bio and it's free. We're giving away $50 every week, about $1,000 this year. It's a free roll. Just join the contest, weekly prizes, $50. Reach out to us, reach out to George or myself or in the Instagram or somewhere. Just get a hold of us and we'll send you that money. It's in the bio. It's an ESPN free roll. You just got to pick every game against the spread. And shout out to you. Also, while we're on this topic, George, a couple new Patreon members.
Let's hear
Just
it.
want to give a shout out. Shout out to my buddy Dominic Taibbi. Thank you for pledging for the whole year. Shout out to Chirac Spicy.
Chirac Spicy.
If you're trolling, it's all good, but the number goes up. He pledged for the whole year as
I
well.
love that.
We got K Dubbin. We got Joseph Turosetta. And we got Gil Costa. Thank you for your contributions to the Patreon. Remember, Patreon, $1 American. That's what we're asking for. George and I were having conversations. I pay for Hulu. Having used Hulu since the Wu-Tang series. It's been like 2 years. I don't realize the $4.99 on my statements, and you won't realize the dollar transaction. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum.
Little round of applause there for everybody. A. Phillips, great job. All the new Patreon subs. I just wanted to, I only clapped after the first one and I was like, I don't want the other people to think that I wouldn't clap for them. So we had to make that hole right there. Did you ever in high school have a, like 2 claps? Like you give me a quick 2 and everybody would go.
Yeah, we would have
Quick 2,
something
quick
like
2.
that. Yeah.
Maybe we got to get in the habit of something like that when I don't know. Maybe that's too corny.
To each their own.
Can we get a sound? I know. We're in the Win studio. I'm asking for a sound effect button, but a little round of applause would go a long way for our show sometimes. Maybe we could add that on the board that has 9,000 buttons back there.
Yeah.
Just like a little round of applause.
Yeah, I like it. We'll figure it out. I'm always down to add new shit to the show. Okay, George.
Yes.
I want to do a quarter recap. Kind of just run through awards, biggest surprises in the NFL. And I think there's been a lot of craziness this year in the NFL. Overall takeaway, can I give you one?
Mm-hmm.
Way too many injuries, like significant ones. And I wonder if the changes in the CBA and people saying, I don't want the preseason, I think that plays a role in it, bro. Like some of these injuries, you're not getting hit since last January, last time you played, and then you're skipping the preseason. Sure, you do those joint practices with other teams, but then what happens is you go out there week 1. I think the football this year has been a little better in the first couple weeks, but some of these injuries, man, I feel like they're injuries that have to do with not hitting as much as they once did. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I've seen this happen, and I think it's just because it's happening in a premier position at the quarterback position that it feels a little more real early on. But I agree with you on the less preseason. I think the joint practices achieve everything that you need. It's not nationally broadcasted. You get the best out of all your players because at a practice or a scrimmage type environment like what they do in those joint sessions in early August, I would argue that's way more competitive than what they put out there for a preseason game. And you're seeing a way more out of 1v1s, and they get more out of it. But let's start the season earlier. Is that the answer? Because we've added an extra game. I think teams are now a little more cautious based on the way that they've seen like a team like the Chiefs succeed in the past, where you really just have to make it to the dance. And if you look at the way that, the Chiefs have navigated injuries in the past couple of years, they are, gearing up once injuries happen early to make a premier run down the road. So I think adding that extra game changes a lot of the ways that these teams approach. Who am I really going to roll out this week? Is it worth it? Or can we afford this loss given the fact that we have an extra week now to make up for it? Would be my answer to it.
Yeah, it's just something that stood out to me, bro, because, Burrow, you had Daniels, Neighbors and Hill, those are just freak accidents, but you had a couple guys just missing time already or popping up on the injury reports. And I wonder if, like you said, the joint practices, those are probably replacing even preseason games now, because you see some of those videos where it's like camp fights. Oh, the Rams and the Cowboys go at it today, and then
that's what I'm saying, dude.
The Bucks and the Jaguars go at it today. So yeah, that's way more competitive, and also you're fighting for a roster spot. So I was just curious about that before we really dive into this. Give me your biggest takeaway, and this could be good or bad, however you want to spin it. What's the one thing that's jumped out to you?
I would say the biggest surprise to me has been the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they do have a stretch of games coming up here that I'm extremely excited to watch for them, because up until this point, Nick, everybody is buying Jaguars stock. And at the beginning of the year, I had predicted their record 6-11. Given the fact that I had predicted the year before Travis Etienne was going to win Offensive Player of the Year, and then he goes on to have the worst year he's ever had in the NFL.
That's usually how it goes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's similar to what is happening to Brock Bowers right now, motherfucker. But the Jaguars are surprising me. Their wins so far against the Panthers, against the Texans, and against the 49ers. Not necessarily the cream of the crop, one divisional matchup, but their one loss was to the Jake Browning Bengals in the game that Burrow goes down, right? So I'm not a full believer on their wins, but the one thing that I am a believer in now is that Travis Etienne leads the league in yards per carry. That stat alone made me dive a little bit deeper into seeing what Liam Cohen did last year with the Buccaneers. And Liam Cohen pretty much revived the Buccaneers run game. And I think that's why, Bucky Irving isn't off to as hot of a start this year, and the Buccaneers are having to rely heavily on Baker Mayfield, is because they didn't have Liam Cohen's scheme of being able to run the ball effectively. Now, I was praying, I wrote in my notes for the NFL preview show, I pray every single day that I'm wrong about this team, because I thought Travis Hunter was going to be something that he, up until this point, has not shown. But I'm hopeful that they're going to start trying to find new ways to get him the ball, because this next 3-game stretch, all at home, by the way, which is a helpful play towards the Jaguars, but versus the Chiefs, versus the Seahawks, and then versus the Rams. We're going to know what you're made of. We are going to know, especially after the Monday night game versus the Chiefs, if this team is for real or not. And I think they have a good chance to put the world on notice. Because if you do it to the Chiefs on Monday Night Football in a primetime spot, everybody is going to say a few things. It'll be the Trevor Lawrence for MVP. It'll be Liam Cohen, Coach of the Year. And Travis Hunter, we'll just have to see what type of performance he has. But this team has shocked the shit out of me. I'm pretty sure it shocked the shit out of everybody. But I don't know if I should be a full believer because of the resume up to this point. What would you say about the Jaguars?
Well, I love that you brought up Jacksonville, because if I didn't see your notes about it being the Jaguars, I would have picked something about the Jaguars. So I'm glad that you let out with it, and I love your take. You know, they were my division winner. I think you could make I made the case on Monday, like they could be 4-0. If it's not for that miracle Jake Browning comeback where they collapsed, and also they got smoked on penalties. My buddy David, shouts to David in the group chat back home. We're all back in the fantasy football league after all these years, and it's been really fun to, like, you know, rekindle the old shit talking and shit. Like, we were in a league for over like a decade together, and then, you know, because of a lot of different reasons, the league fell off. But one conversation we were having, because he's a Jet fan, and there was a couple of PI calls. Like, Garrett Wilson on Monday scored a touchdown, and then they called it offensive pass interference, and he was like, yo, why don't they review it? It's like, well, after the Saints and Rams game, they allowed you to review pass interference calls, and the number was about 90-something% accurate that the initial call the referees made held up.
Yep.
So to them, they were like, we're wasting time here by doing it. And then his reaction was funny. He's like, yo, fuck all that. What about the 10%? Because it's worth it. So, and I say all that because there was a terrible, take that back, not terrible, but it was like I don't know if I'd call that with the game on the line on Travis Hunter in that Bengals game, which extended the drive. I believe it was on like a 3rd and long or a 4th down play. And that segues into Travis Hunter. I've been disappointed, bro. And maybe because it's my own doing of, you know, overpromise, underdeliver. It's kind of how I like to live my life. And we were promised he's going to play 70% of the snaps on both sides, and it just hasn't been it, right? And then when you look at the Jaguars from a moving forward standpoint, I have always felt that if I'm going to mortgage the farm and the franchise to trade up in the draft, I got to get a quarterback that I feel like that's the guy for me to give up all those picks. You're in no position as the Jaguars to make a luxury pick like a Travis Hunter. And then on top of that, here's what they gave up. In the draft, to move up to number 2, Jaguars send the number 5 pick to the Browns, which they made the selection, a 2nd round, a 4th round pick from this past draft. Like, these picks have been wasted. And then the 2026 first round pick next year to move up to 2. And he's playing about 50% of the snaps either way. Hasn't really had that's the Heisman winner moment. And honestly, I feel like he don't look the part out there.
He needs another year. Like, he, out of all people, and it shocks me sometimes with these like really, really good athletes coming out of college, just 2 to 3 years of putting on. I mean, in the NFL, bro, the supplements that they got these guys on, like, come on now. They're definitely teetering the line with every protein shake on how much fucking HGH they can put in there. They create superhumans. So give him a year in this Jaguars superhuman. Doesn't the WWE owner, isn't he a part of?
Yeah, no, it's not WWE. It's Khan, the Khan family, AEW, but whatever. It's wrestling.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, bro, like
those
also,
supplements in Travis Hunter, MVP next year.
I mean, bro, like, like the other thing is he got benched against the Niners on defense, and is he going to be a case study of? You could get away with both sides of the ball in college and high school, but you got to pick one come the pro level. And I've always felt like if I had the option, I'd pick receiver because they make $40 million now. Whereas a good number one corner makes 25 to 30. Still amazing. But if I had the option, it's the same thing I used to say, old school veterans minimum fans. I remember when I used to do the show with the other guys, my friend Tim, who I used to do the show with, he was like a huge baseball fan, and so was Boss. And it was when Kyler Murray was coming out. And it's like he could be a number one pick overall in football for the NFL, or he could go to baseball. And I was like, bro, y'all are bugging. It's without a doubt the NFL. And they're like, yeah, but the money's guaranteed. I'm like, yo, I understand that. But as a rookie, this dude's going to be playing on Thursday Night Football, starting. You want him to sit 3 years in a bus in fucking Boise going to play AAA? Like, no. And also he's playing quarterback. Granted, he's been injured a bunch of times, but he's not a DB. He's not Jeff Samardzija. Remember Jeff Samardzija was coming out with the Calvin Johnson class, and he was like the number 2 receiver out of Notre Dame. Dude made like $180 million in baseball as like a, not the biggest baseball guy, but like was never an ace for a team. Maybe a number 2 starter at best. No, 180 million? Like, yeah, but he played receiver. He didn't play quarterback. We're like, yo, you're in all these commercials and shit. And Kyler Murray has already banked a $200 million contract. However you feel about him, I'm just saying the approach. So maybe Travis Hunter, it's like, hey man, you got to maybe decide. And if he turns into an all-pro on either side of the ball, then you can validate this pick. But for right now, big takeaway for me is he's having a rough go of it.
Yeah. They got to just find creative ways to get him involved. And it's force feed him the fucking ball, bro. Can we get a Travis Hunter touchdown celly at some point in time in the next month? You know the Jaguars' leading receiver is the tight end, Brenton Strange.
Bro, that's the most crazy thing about it because like Etienne has had a resurgence.
Yep.
And he's balling out, but Brian Thomas Jr. has only had a rushing touchdown this year. He had an amazing rookie campaign. Comes from LSU right away. Him and Neighbors light it up. And it just hasn't clicked with him and Trevor Lawrence. And then you've gotten nothing out of Hunter. And yeah, that's a problem.
I think
that's a problem.
But
it's crazy. It's a good problem because they're talented enough to turn it around, and they're still 3-1. You know, they're tied for first in the division, and they've been playing well. They've been playing really well.
Yeah. I will say that in these coming games, it'll be exciting to see the Jaguars on primetime television to get like the full Liam Cohen effect, because I do think he has that fuck you type swagger to him, which I like. That whole him and Salah beef last week was exactly what I want to see if I was the owner of a team in my new hire as a head coach. And you're running the ball well, bro. That's just the offensive identity. This is what made Jared Goff an MVP candidate last season. It's run the ball. Your tight end's your leading receiver, and we will get creative and crafty down the field later on. But it's almost like you don't want to show some of that shit just yet, you know? But yeah, without a doubt, the Jaguars, biggest surprise. Yeah. And we could do this again where we put them on the thumbnail of this video and then they go 0-3 at home these next 3 weeks. Very real possibility.
Could be. Can I give you my surprise?
Yeah.
I got to take an L on Sam Darnold. I was wrong. I thought shouts to Pamela Maldonado coming on the preview show. She checked me on it. I thought she was bugging, but she's been right so far. Look, they're 3-1. Their one loss was they were down inside the 20, and Nick Bosa makes a strip sack fumble game 1, and they won 3 straight games since. Their defense them, Houston, and the Broncos have given up the least amount of points this year so far. Their defense has been the strength. Granted, they played the Saints on the road. Well, Saints came on the road in Seattle. But regardless, still balled out. Their defense, I believe, is a top 5 to 8 unit defensively in the league. And he just looks good. He looks very good. I thought it was going to be a one-hit wonder with him in Minnesota. Had a career year. I always like to say I take away your best and your worst year, and that's kind of who you are as a, honestly, not just a quarterback, as an athlete. Like, dude, he had a career, like Cooper Kupp wins the Triple Crown. He hasn't had that since. But then you take away his worst year, and you're like, all right, he's a 1,100-yard receiver, 8 touchdowns a year in his prime. Like, that's how I'll remember him, right? And with Sam Darnold, he starts off the year, he's completing 70% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but he just looks the part and he looks competent. And when I watch him, I feel like he's going to deliver when it's asked of him to deliver. Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's one of the top receivers in the league this year. He's number 2 right now in receiving yards in the NFL. The running game, whether it's Walker or Chardonnay, it seems to not really drop off. They got like a thunder and lightning kind of backfield. And their defense, Leonard Williams, who was a former Giant, went over there. He's killing it. DeMarcus Lawrence over there coming from the Cowboys. He's playing well. McDonald finally has his defense being implemented the right way after going there from Baltimore. And now you see what Baltimore has been the last year and a half defensively. It's like, maybe, okay. Maybe, right. Coaching matters for sure in this sport more than any other. But yeah, I'm going to take an L, man. I think he's legit. I thought him going over there and not having the same weapons. Ready for this? Having the plethora of weapons that he had in Minnesota. I'd love to hear that. I'm adding to the vocab and not having the offensive mind in Kevin O'Connell. I thought that was going to be an issue, but I'm going to take the L on that, bro. How do you feel about that?
I really liked the Seahawks going into this year, so it's kind of like a reverse of like our Jaguars take, where I was low on the Jags and you were high on them. But dare I say, man, Baker Mayfield laid the path to being a journeyman in the NFL isn't the worst thing in the world. He made it cool, Baker.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold is nothing more than a follower of Baker's footsteps. And he's succeeding. And I think, bro, this is just genetics. Pale gingers do well in Seattle. It's meant for them. Like, it literally is genetically meant for them. He's never been more at home. I was looking at the schedule here. They play week 11 at the Rams. This will be the heat check game. Obviously. This
that
is the
far
first...
into the year, you don't think they'll get a heat check before then?
I'm saying as far as a divisional heat check.
Oh.
This is the one that matters the most. You know what I mean? Because they still have their 2 games versus the Rams. So if they are the juggernaut, this is for the division.
Right.
Without a doubt. So I guess a game before that, we had talked about the Jaguars are playing in Jacksonville in 2 weeks. They got the Buccaneers this week, which, early spoiler, toxic game for me. That's going to be a fun one to watch.
That's going to definitely be a fun one.
I love your take on the Seahawks being for real. And don't they have like the most takeaways in the league?
I am not sure.
I might be confusing them.
They are definitely, so right now the team with the most takeaways are the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes.
Seattle's top 4 technically. There's 4 teams tied with 7. Sorry, 3 teams tied with 7. But yeah, they're a top 5 team when it comes to turnovers. Jaguars lead the league with 13, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers, for as much shit as their defense is getting, they're making plays defensively. Making plays defensively. By the way, the Ravens take, I love it even more now with Lamar being hurt. When he comes back after the bye week, we do a parlay of Ravens to make the playoffs, Steelers to miss the playoffs. Steelers should be 6-1 at that time. Poetic, bro.
I like
You'll
this.
probably get like plus 210 on them to miss the playoffs at that, because they'll probably have like a 3.5, 4 game lead on them. The in-division opponent. Remember, the Ravens play 5 of their last 8 in division. So they have ways to make up ground. And historically, we've seen the Ravens get hot at the end. So remember this. Remember this. Around week 8, week 9, we're parlaying Steelers to miss, Ravens to win the division.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
See, sound effect button.
Yeah.
We got to add the cha-ching and round of applause.
I like that. I like that. Last one. I didn't really have it too much on the notes, bro, and I feel like it's a good segue into, the awards that we'll just run through quick before we get into our picks. You ever heard the term believe people when they show you who they are?
Yes.
Right? Girls like to post that when they go through a breakup, even though everyone was telling them, like, that guy's a piece of shit, be careful. They always fall for the trap. Listen, it happens. I fall for the trap too. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl's Colombian. It goes. I get duped. We all get duped, right? I think I'm cool on Bryce Young, bro. I think I'm cool on Bryce Young. I know you're laughing because you've been trying to warn me, but I got duped by the last 8 games of the year last year, which I think they won 2 of them anyway. But they were covering, they were like 5-2 against the number. I'm good. I'm cool. And this week they're a 1.5 point favorite against the Dolphins. It's the first time they've been favored since 2020. But like, I'm cool. We were talking with John in the control room, and he's like, man, like, do you take that Miami off a their first win? They're kind of beaten up. And I'm like, bro, if you're betting this game, you got to hit the hotline. That 1-800
I was about
number.
to say that, bro.
You got to hit the hotline. Like, there's a couple games. There's a couple games, like, I'll have friends reach out to me and they'll say, yo, dude, I want to bet this. And I'm like, just pass, bro. Like, even if you're right, like, just a headache. You're going to feel like such an asshole. You're holding a -1.5 and the Miami's up 27-10 in the fourth quarter. You're like, why'd I do this? So, but before we get into the awards, I defer to you, man. I'm cool on Bryce Young. I think who he was when he debuted and he showed us who he was, that's kind of who I think he is. And, like, I'm cool. I tried. They were my division winner last year. I thought they could maybe sneak up. And, I vividly remember, like, they were 13-point underdogs at home against the Chiefs. It was like trust me. I was like, yo, I know it's gross. Or it was definitely Ursulita last year. But I'm just cool, man. I apologize, George. Even in text conversations, you were like, hey, man, can you stop with this Bryce Young shit?
Yeah, man. You were like making people put it on the 4 box on Sunday mornings. And it's like, whoa, Nick, let's just pump the brakes a little bit. Andy Dalton was the best quarterback that the Panthers have had. Well, Baker Mayfield was there with Andy Dalton back in the day.
Dude, what about this? Have you seen the photo of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield on the Panthers?
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa.
Panthers are the proving ground, bro.
Man.
Panthers are the proving ground.
Man.
And
yo, your best take ever was when I called Baker Mayfield trash. And you're like, yo, bro, by the way, he was never trash. I just love that reaction.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He is so good. Oh, well, that's even you want to segue into the next thing with that?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let us know in the comments what your biggest surprise is. George, take us away. Where are we going next?
Our predictions from the summer that we would change for our NFL awards. We're going to go through each award.
Yeah.
And
we'll spend
just have a
more time on some than the others.
For sure.
Because, like, there's a couple
that are the same.
There's a couple that are the same. And, like, I feel as if anyone other than Carter to win Rookie of the Year, I think is a joke. I know you have someone else. I don't want to spoil it. But for me, it's like, especially these last 2 weeks, I know we have some sources at the Giants. Maybe they heard my rant about the D-line. Like, yo, I'm cool with the on paper because they've been on fire since. And listen, the reverse jinx, when it works in your favor,
money.
It's calculated, bro. So take us away. What are you changing from the summer?
Man, this is the Baker Mayfield year. And I think that he has made highlight plays in every single weekend that he's played. He's lighting it up. He's doing it in comeback fashion in the fourth quarter. Baker Mayfield right now at 22-1 to win MVP is only 3 points off of what we have currently on Jalen Hurts to win MVP. This is not a player that has to rely on his wins to define the legacy that he's leaving behind this season, but but he's on a generational run, bro. And having a ticket with him attached to MVP gives you even more excitement when you watch the Buccaneers games on Saturdays. I said, and I will continue to say, when this offense is humming, it's an electric, possibly best, most unstoppable offense in the league. And that's where I would like to start this. My new MVP, if I had to choose one, would be Baker Mayfield.
Listen, bro, he hasn't even had all his weapons. I know Bucky Irvin popped up on the injury report. He might miss a couple of weeks. Mike Evans is out with a hamstring. Chris Godwin just came back last week. They used him in like spot duty. Agbuka, he's been money, tied for Offensive Rookie of the Year with Tyler Warren. We'll get to that in just a second. Listen, you're looking at a team that probably gets to 10 wins. They have a lot of comebacks, 8 touchdowns to 1 interception this year for Baker Mayfield. Even though there's like an advanced analytics stat where like he should have double-digit interceptions already based on some of the throws that, don't get picked off. But yeah, he's balling, man. He's balling. And to your point before, what you mentioned about sometimes we talk about this all the time, and we've had athletes on the show and they're like, I'll never forget, shouts to CJ Watson. He's going to be tapping in with us come NBA. I remember asking him, like, yo, would you be able to get 30 every night? He's like, yeah, bro. Do you know how many guys could get 30 in the league, but you just know your role and your role changes? Like, yo, here are your 7 shots. Try to make half of them so maybe you could get to 9.
Right.
But sometimes you're just in a shit situation, and that's what Darnold was in. That's what Daniel Jones was in. That's what Baker Mayfield was in, and now you see it, So, like, shit, even Geno Smith, I know he's struggling right now, and it looks awful with the Raiders, but he leaves the Jets, goes to Seattle, finds a home, and he got a contract extension, and that's successful for them. So, I like that, man. I like that. It's fun. And, I feel like you should have had this bet on already.
I know, but I was just being a realist.
Yeah.
The Jalen Hurts bet, like, there's no way he's going to do it. Look at him. No, he didn't even have a fucking completion in the second half. It's pouring rain, and it will continue to pour rain until week 16 when they defeat the Commanders. But now, looking back on it, this isn't the same Commanders team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that may hurt the MVP case. But it's raining right now, Nick.
Yeah.
On that Hurts MVP
You know what
take.
else? You know what else, too? Like, you look at their schedule, because the first 4 games have been tough for Philly. They got to go 16-1. And I'm telling Cam and Mace right now, I'm coming on the show and I'm campaigning like, it's about wins.
Oh, yes.
I want to be like, nah, I need a big show to push this narrative. I'm going to start tweeting. I'm going to hit up Matty Betts because we're on Jalen Hurts also. Shouts to Matty Betts. I'm hitting up everyone I know. Like, we got to start pushing the narrative that it's not a stat award. It's about team success. We're doing what everyone did with Lamar. That's that, because honestly, bro,
17-0 locks it.
Oh yeah. But I mean,
no
bro,
doubt.
like, look, let me just read you something real quick, right?
Okay.
Eagles schedule, and let's do what every fan does. Home to the Broncos, short week to the Giants, on the road against Minnesota, Carson Wentz, boo. Home Giants. At Green Bay, okay, tough night game. Hey, Jalen,
Fucking step it up that week.
let's toss
Come on
a couple.
now.
Right, then home Lions, on the road Dallas. If you don't throw for 300 against the Cowboys when Caleb Williams' career got revived, we're burning the ticket. Then, speaking of Caleb Williams, they play the Bears, then they play the Chargers, home to the Raiders, and then this is the spot where you were talking about. Commanders on the road, Bills, and the year with Commanders. What's the tough game? Is it at Green Bay? Sure, it's at Green Bay. But then they got Detroit at home, way different team in November, outdoors. On the road against the Chargers, it's going to be 70% Philly fans in SoFi Stadium. And then I'll give you that Bills game. But then that's where we're going to need
we need it. That's the week where there's no doubt.
So, bro, I think Philly goes 15-2, I think, is the floor. And just get to 20 touchdowns, bro, because we can't have you with 14 touchdowns.
Campaigning up here, bro.
Campaigning for, but yeah,
damn.
like, yeah,
it's raining.
That's the only way. But For me, right now, the MVP through 4 weeks is Josh Allen. He's minus 150 right now.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
But we said, right? You know who's 8-1 for Offensive Player of the Year? Even though I don't think he is? James Cook. What I tell everyone, he's the only player in the league with over 100 yards from scrimmage in every game and a touchdown. And he was 25-1 2 weeks ago. You looked at the schedule. They got Pats this week. They have another gimme the next 2 weeks. And you were looking at it like, oh, he might light it up. It's the same thing with Josh Allen. So for me, my MVP through the first 4 weeks is Josh Allen. My Offensive Player of the Year is Puka.
Same.
Puka Nacua. Yeah.
He is like the definition of, I mean, everything that works as far as a receiver. Outside, he wins his one-on-ones. Inside, he's shaking up any safety that wants to cover over him. Double teams all over the place. It's gotten to the point now where it's third down and you know the ball's going to Puka, and he still catches it. I think he sets the record for what? Most games in which he's either injured himself or gotten cut. Dude's tough. It looks good. It's got to be Puka.
Hard to argue against it. Leads the league in receiving yards. Leads the league in catches. Just an absolute baller, man. I do have an individual ticket on him at 16-1 to win Offensive Player of the Year. But in the parlay, it's Bijan Robinson, who's second, tied for second with Jonathan Taylor. But for me, I think it's Puka. That's one of the ones where, like, George, we can't really spend too much time on this. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
For me, it's Tyler Warren or Egbuka.
Just based on the touchdowns, Warren for the usage. But who's had the best highlights of any offensive rookie so far this year? There's only one name that should be said.
The best highlights.
There's only one name.
I'm blanking right now, bro.
Cam Scattaboo.
Whoa.
Bro, there's no
The
colder.
creatine Caucasians are taking over, brother.
The mic'd up this past weekend of him yelling at Jackson Dart saying, I told you I was going to run through this motherfucking face. Bro, what? Give that dude the award. What?
Culture changer, brother. Let's
Ibuka's
go.
getting it in fun ways. It's creative. Hey, but by the way, everything's easier when Baker's throwing you the ball. So, like, he's got that going for him. Tyler Warren, you're just going to get those fancy Taysom Hill type graphics, which I had said Tyler Warren would be a good pick. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, Tracy being down for just a little bit feels like a Wally Pipp situation where, yay, you lost your spot, buddy. Scattaboo's here to run the rock for the Giants for the next 5 years. He's going to be a staple of New York sports culture. And I just know that doing really good in a premier environment like that helps out when these awards are given out at the end of the year. Cam Scattaboo, I found him at 25-1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
That's a crazy number for how, I don't know, exciting he's been. And as far as the media is concerned over the first 4 weeks. It's a fun ticket for you to put in. I mean, the crappy thing is Jackson Dart is now like 4-1.
That, yeah, massive line movement on that. Like, before they announced him as a starter, you could see as high as 30-1, and then he wins that game against the Chargers, and now he's 4-1. Yeah, let me tell you this. This is the Giants fan in me. They win this week against the Saints. They play at home against Philly on Thursday night. Imagine they give the Eagles the first loss, and now they're 3-3. Oh, I'm going to be so fucking unbearable on social media if I'm not already. You let us get the 3-3. Woo! Buckle up. Buckle up.
Add them to the parlay of the Ravens.
Oh, no, I'm not saying to win the division. I'm just saying, like,
Make the playoffs.
bro, the excitement level would be, oh. And honestly, like, if that happens, it's like, yo, Dable, your seat's getting even hotter. Like, how the fuck have you not started this guy beforehand? Like, waiting that long, right? Like, bro, think about this. he outperformed them in the preseason. And I don't care that he played against backups because you know why? He didn't have his starters out there. He didn't have Malik Neighbors. I know he's not going to have Neighbors now, but I'm saying at the time, the argument was he's doing this against backups. Well, he was doing it with backups. Two of the guys that scored touchdowns from him are not even on the team anymore. So he was doing it with backups. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So if you saw this, you saw the morale of the team. We were talking about that too. Like, that's why I like what Cleveland did. Did we not call that on the last episode too? Like, yo, you got to go to Gabriel or Sanders. Whoever you want to go to first, I don't care. But you got to put one of them in there. And that's what they did. They're going with Dylan Gabriel now. And I think it's great. You roll him out for 4 to 5 weeks. You got that bye week. And then you're like, listen, we're 2-7. You didn't really bring much to the table. Let's try Shador. Let's just see. A trial run. And then maybe you take a quarterback next year. Who knows? But don't let us get to 3-3.
Oh, it's good for this 25-1.
Yeah.
It just sucks because Jackson Dart would definitely win that award. But it's a fun one to have. If the Giants do bad, I still see a path for Scadaboo.
Yes. I think there's more of a path for him than there is for Jackson Dart.
Nice.
Like Jackson Dart, if he wins, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because then, the conversation might be like, well, the Giants were just saying a number 9-4 with him in the lineup.
When was the last time that a team won Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Ooh, that's a great question, bro.
I mean, that's definitely in play right now. That's a fun one. Scadaboo this weekend. I'm going to spoil it. He is a part of the anytime touchdown parlay.
Wow, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Whoa, check this out, bro. All right, it's happened 3 times, and it's happened recently within the last 10 years. Can you name the teams?
Jesus.
I'll give you a hint. One is very close to home.
The Raiders?
No, like your favorite team.
Oh, Saints?
Yeah. Kamara and Lattimore. The other one was Sauce and Garrett Wilson.
Super recent.
And then 2 years ago, CJ Stroud and Will Anderson.
Wow.
I'll be honest. At the moment, I wouldn't have guessed either of those.
For sure.
Yeah. But now when you think of it, it's like, yeah, those guys were cornerstones. Cornerstones for sure. So, yeah, maybe we'll see. Because for me, Defensive Rookie of the Year, kind of don't want to hear it. I think it's Carter.
Yeah. The only other person I threw in there would be Jahad Campbell, and I think that that's similar to a Jalen Hurts reason of him winning would be, well, the Eagles' defense was elite.
Yeah.
And, the Giants' record was below 500 or whatever. So I'll hit you with Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay, who
this one is still very much up in the air. Are you struggling to understand, too, how Micah Parsons is plus 350?
Yes.
I am struggling to understand.
I do not understand that, yes.
Jared Verse is still at, I've seen him at 16-1 at some places. Blows my mind. He's one of the most exciting players on what Nick said on Monday's show is the best team in football. I mean, that defensive line that the Rams have is almost as competent as the Giants' defensive line when they're all firing at full cylinders. So I still like my Jared Verse pick. But Nick said he would give me $100,000, and Aiden Hutchinson is tied to that name.
Yeah.
And it's still looking really good for him, dude.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson is plus 300. He's currently the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year, followed by Micah Parsons, which I don't understand, Myles Garrett, Nick Bonito on the Broncos. One name that jumped out to me just a little bit, just like, oh, that's interesting. Brian Burns. Brian Burns. We talk about like the flash and the highlight plays. Bro, Brian Burns got that Spider-Man celebration.
It's the coolest.
Going viral on
Yes.
TikTok and shit. So like, bro, that matters. That pushes narratives. 80-1. 80-1. I think that's pretty crazy.
That is a sick
Because I
number.
think he's been one of the best defensive players this year. Him, Derwin James, Aiden Hutchinson, Nick Bonito, Jared Verse. Jalen Carter when he's in the lineup and out of the lineup. And I wonder if they're like, yo, we can't have this guy win. He got ejected from the game. Maybe they can hold that against him, but he's one of those guys. And then, of course, as always, bro, Fred Warner, 30-1, like best linebacker in the league, always seems to be around the ball within 5 yards of it every single time. 40 yards downfield, he's just there behind the backfield. So that was just one that jumped out to me. Just something to monitor.
That's a nice one.
So defensive player of the year for me, Hutchinson. Comeback, Daniel Jones. Are we being biased? Are we being biased because of the ticket?
No.
No, I don't think we're being biased.
But I also didn't see him like listed at some places.
Some places don't. Yeah, some places. Because again, this is why I know for a fact nobody reads terms and conditions. We kind of just accept and move on. And then that's when like your information gets leaked out. All this shit happens. We talked about it when Damar Hamlin got hurt in that game. There was a couple of sports books that didn't pay out win totals, didn't pay out divisions because there's disclaimers in those fucking terms and conditions that everybody ignores. Because honestly, if you read them, I feel like you're a loser. I'm just being honest. This is my opinion. And then that's how we get in trouble. Because you go to cash a Bills ticket or a Ravens ticket or a Bengals ticket, any one of those teams in the division, there's disclaimers that say each team needs to play 17 weeks in order for these bets to be valid. And some places with comeback player of the year, I remember last year I got burned. I bet Ricky Pearsall 100-1. I was like, bro, he got shot.
Yeah, like
I know we're laughing, but like
serious case.
That's what's more of a comeback than that? Damar Hamlin died on the field. What's more of a comeback? He came back from life, let alone a football game. And then Brian Robinson, he got shot. But there's disclaimers with comeback player of the year more than any other awards where it's like they have to come back from injury, some books. They have to come back. They have to have played the year before in the NFL. Ricky Pearsall and Brian Robinson didn't. So it's just important to read these disclaimers with the sports books. And that's how you get burned. That's how you get burned.
Yeah. But we've been on this one for a long time. So Daniel Jones. I also have him at MVP, just in case. Just in case it's that special of a run. And according to last week, I mean, the way they beat themselves, bro, and how excited I am about the Rams, like shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep riding the hot hand with them. Coach of the year for me has changed.
Okay.
Liam Cohen.
I like it.
Liam Cohen, I'm going to ride that Jaguars wave until proven otherwise.
I'm going to stay in division, and I'm going to go with Steichen.
Whoever wins the division wins the award?
I'm
probably.
Cool with that. I'm cool with that, yeah. Because if you think about it, I think both teams should be 4-0.
Right.
So, yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think about these awards.
Hold on, bro. Did you know? I just saw this on FanDuel right here. Assistant Coach of the Year?
Wow.
Assistant Coach of the Year.
What do you got?
Jesse Minter at plus 600. Jim Bob Cooter at plus 650. Great name.
Phenomenal.
You kind of got to bet it for the name.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep reading through these people. Clint Kubiak, Robert Saleh, 10-1. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't know that was an actual award. That's crazy.
Yeah, we'll have to look at those markets.
I mean,
yeah.
Next year we got to just we're going to be able to do like a special teams coach of the year award mixed with a offensive coordinator of the year award. That'd be fun. That's where we're headed, bro. We're going to be able to bet on everything. Run or pass here pretty soon and live play. That would be sick.
That would be sick. Now that I'm looking at the awards, there's a crazy one. Kevin Patullo. Nah, no way. He just gets ripped apart for how he runs. Never mind. We're not taking that out, but mentally we're taking that out of the episode. Okay, let us know in the comments what you guys think. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. All things Veterans Minimum on social media as well. George.
Yes.
Real quick. Actually, let's save it. Let's save it because we're running low on time. Let's just get right into the picks. The thing that we have that we were going to discuss, we'll just move it to another time.
Yep.
Week 5 picks. Let's update people on our records. The records for me: 8-9-1 overall. 1-3 is Ursulita, ugliest pick on the board. 0-2 against the spread. 0-2 on anytime touchdown props in this economy. 1-2-1 on Becky. Toxic one and Trust Me is 3-1. I'll be honest. Trust Me now 21-6-1. It sounds way better when I do that, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
It sounds way better. 21-6-1 in the last since week 1 of 2024. George, what do you got?
I'm currently 8-13, so we both only have 8 wins. We're both below 500. Will this be the week that we change this? My Ursulita's 0-4, man. I have not been able to identify the ugly pick on the board at all. My In This Economy, though, had a 2+ touchdown winner last week. I am currently 3-2.
Plus 285, brother.
Plus 285.
Yeah, that's
Plus
very
285. 3-2 for my In This Economy. My Becky 3-1. Got screwed by the Colts last week. My Toxic one 2-2, and then my Trust Me, which this week for my Trust Me, Nick, I have a bet that's minus 210 because I will not go 0-5 for the Trust Me pick.
Hey, that's 2 condoms right there.
I don't give a fuck. I do not care because it has a little bit of risk associated with it. So maybe do we start with that?
Yeah,
I can start with
start with
my
that
2
one.
condom sex pick right now. Minus 210. Dylan Gabriel to throw an interception. Book it. I don't know what else I need to tell you. Dylan Gabriel is now going to be the 41st different starting quarterback for the Browns since the 2000s. Or since 2000. So I don't think it's going to figure itself out once they go across the pond. Playing a team that's already been there for a week, which is also a huge plus. I saw the consensus for the Vikings defense to score a touchdown at plus 500 in some books. Dylan Gabriel to throw an interception. Trust me, will not go 0-5. This is a lock.
Okay. I like what you just mentioned with 2 touchdowns. I like my Ursulita. I can't believe that it's gross because there might be $1 million on the line on this guy. Jalen Hurts to throw for 200 passing yards against Denver and 2 touchdowns is plus 550.
Wow.
They're playing with your name, bro. And I'll tell you this. We had this happen last year during the playoffs. And it happened in the regular season as well. Whenever Hurts and the offense gets slandered, him in particular, what happens the next week? He airs it out. And they played Denver. I don't think Denver's defense is as holy fuck as we thought it was. Ursulita, 200 yards passing, which, by the way, is plus 160.
Wow.
200 yards passing. And 2 touchdowns is plus 200. Parlayed both, plus 550. Jalen Hurts to have 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. And
Ursulita?
Ursulita, yeah. It's gross because it looks so bad. Bro has 600 yards on the year. You got.
He hasn't had a completion in the last
scroll
2 quarters.
You have to scroll to page 2 on the quarterbacks to find how many yards he has. That's awful, bro. There's 32 starters.
That's nuts.
Like, what is happening? Russell Wilson had more yards than him,
That's nuts.
and he didn't play last week. So yeah, for me, Ursulita, that's the one right there. I'll be honest with you. I don't like as many spreads this week. So a lot of my picks are more like props. In this economy, Derrick Henry, minus 125 to score a touchdown. He absolutely smokes the Texans in his career, going back to his time with Tennessee. Minus 120, Derrick Henry to score a touchdown against the Houston Texans. They're in Baltimore. They're coming off a bad loss. I didn't like the usage that he had last week. The backup quarterback is Cooper Rush. They're not going to have him air it out. Nah, Derrick Henry, vintage, 30 touches. That's what I want. And for us to win this game, you gotta go fucking beast mode.
Yeah.
Minus 125. Come on, bro. What are we doing? Let's not get crazy. We need this. We need this.
I
You're
like
in the
that.
parlay again. Come on. We need this. Derrick Henry anytime.
You gave your Ursulita. I will give my Ursulita. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Until proven otherwise, give me the Jaguars plus 3.5 this week versus the Chiefs. Everybody's saying the Chiefs are back. I think based on looking at what the Jaguars have done the first 3 weeks, they're going to take the air out of the ball. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. And I think that the Jaguars win outright, but I'm going to take them with the points here. That's my Ursulita pick. Fading the Giants. Give me the Jags. And then I'll hit you with my In This Economy.
No. I got to cut you off. You know why?
Why?
21-6-1 is on the line, bro.
No way.
Jaguars plus 3.5 is my trust me. Give me some.
My trust me's 0-4. Should I have made it my trust
George,
me? No.
George moved. That's how I know you're fired up.
I thought you were about to say you're taking the Chiefs.
No. Listen, bro, I gave him out as a Monday winner. That was my Monday winner. And my logic was this. Kansas City was at home against Baltimore. They closed as a 2.5-point underdog at home. Now they go on the road to play the Jaguars. They're 3.5-point underdogs. I think Jacksonville's better than Baltimore. And they're at home. Pretty simple handicap for me. And that's how I'm going to play it. Trust me this week. You're Ursulita. Both of us are on the Jaguars plus 3.5.
I love this.
I love this too.
It's Jaguars part. I'm going to wear teal on Monday.
Yeah.
I can't even find that color anywhere in my closet.
We hit this bet. Yeah.
I go buy a shirt that's teal.
Yeah, we hit this bet. We pulling up. What do you got next?
In This Economy. Giants money line. Oh, I'm riding.
Kool-Aid.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid hard this week, but at the same time, like I just know what the Saints product is, and I know that based on the way that they have been outscored 44-7 in the first quarter through the first 4 weeks, once the Giants get out in front with how youthful and energetic they are, yeah, the Saints ain't coming back from that. And so I don't like them with the points. It's In This Economy because they're plus 104 right now. It's what I do for you people. All right. I gave you two plus touchdowns from Josh Jacobs last week. This week, it's the Giants money line. And dare I say a rout and a statement game. This is a bad Saints team, Nick. If the Giants are for real, this week will prove it. I will now give you my Becky. I don't even want to hear your response on the Giants because I know you're bought in. Becky, Cowboys minus 2.5 against the Jets. When Dak's playing well, he obliterates bad teams. This Aaron Glenn-led defense is abysmal. Dak's record against teams below 500, 32-18-2 against the spread. Winning those games by 9.6 points per game. They're going to take care of business. The defense obviously is bad, but at the same time, I look at the weapons that the Jets have and I look at the way that they have been able to move the ball. They're just bad at passing. They don't know necessarily what their identity is on offense. So I think the Cowboys could, wrap this up early, just like the way the last 3 weeks have been for the Jets, where it's, can they make a fourth quarter comeback? At that point, I don't even give a shit about a backdoor cover, even though I've been screwed this year with backdoor covers.
That hook, man, that hook got you.
Cowboys minus 2.5 for my Becky.
I do like the over in that game. Just Cowboys overs have been crushing this year. They can't stop anyone, and Dak's been balling, bro. Dak's been balling for sure. My toxic one. There's just a couple things in the NFL I just can't get behind. Kyler Murray as a 9-point favorite. I can't do it. And also, I don't want to hear shit about the pros being on the Titans. Pros are on the Titans this week. There's just certain games you could just tell, talk to some pro bettors, we're on we're on the Titans. We're on the Jets +7 against Buffalo. Like, you just knew that they were going to be on. And what happens? They get their shit torn open. They're 3-18 in their last 21 games against the spread. That is like insanely bad. In the last 25 games, they're 4-20-1. The worst of any team in the wild card era. The wild card era is like 30 years old. It's the worst team, bro. But also, I can't trust Kyler Murray. Now, I do like the Cardinals. If you haven't used them in Eliminator, you're gonna be nervous as shit. Because they were up, what, 27-2 they were up on the, or 27, it was a weird score with the Panthers, and then the Panthers backdoor covered on them in the fourth quarter. So you're gonna be on a roller coaster, but I think the Titans are really bad. Cam Ward kind of getting Bryce Young vibes in the sense where, like, my eyes aren't lying to me.
But no, bro, at least he brings some charisma. At least he literally, to keep it a buck, we ass. One of the coldest. I want a shirt of that.
Yeah.
With Cam Ward's face on it. That would be a good shirt, right?
That would be, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very bad team around him. I think he's a good quarterback, though.
Okay.
I'll stand on that. But he's a good quarterback in the sense that, like, after he said that last week, I pray to God that, you know, he puts on for the people this week and he shows that he's worth the first pick. That ass. So that's a good toxic one.
Yeah, I just can't. You gotta call the hotline if you bet this game. But in a weird way, maybe I have to call the hotline because I'm taking them in my eliminator pool. Cardinals, so went outright. And then the other one, I know we got burned by them last week. Becky for me is going to be Buffalo. Buffalo is at home. Sunday Night Football. They're playing Drake May, and the Patriots. Josh Allen against New England is where is it?
Shit, he only lost once.
8-6 straight up versus the Patriots, but 3 of those losses were to Tom Brady.
Right.
So he's 8-3 against all the other quarterbacks. I know last week there were big favorites. Josh Allen and Buffalo as double-digit favorites are 0-6 now against the spread. However, when they play teams that are bad, and I think New England is not a good team, they beat the shit out of them at home, especially when he's a touchdown, when he's 6 points to 10 points favored against these teams that, again, this is all your perception. I think the Pats are a bad team. He's covering 68% of the games at home. So I like Buffalo at -8 as my Becky.
Let's see, man. Let's see. I like where we're at this week as far as our picks. They feel more solidified and like we've analyzed over these first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
This is the accurate reflection through our picks. We gotta both go 5-0. And it's possible. We're not going head to head against each other. My toxic one, I had said it a little bit earlier. Buccaneers are getting 68% of the bets right now at +3.5. Go into Seattle. This is one you want to stay away from because it's either Sam Darnold is legit and the Seahawks are a juggernaut in the NFC, or you're sweating out Baker Mayfield coming back late. So I just want to stay away from doing anything but betting anytime touchdowns for that game. Even though I don't have anybody listed in mind. Do you have any Tampa Bay players listed in your anytime touchdown parlay?
I do not know. My anytime touchdown parlay for week 5. Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor.
All right.
Derrick Henry again. Chuba Hubbard. They're playing Miami. Miami is getting smoked on the ground. You get 12-1.
Wow.
Plus 1,200. And then you want to get really wild? 2 touchdowns each for Taylor, Kamara, and Hubbard. 110-1. That's the clip.
That one's getting, I'm for sure putting in 2 touchdowns.
The 2 touchdowns. We're putting in 2 touchdowns.
That's a good one.
What do you got?
I am going to give you an anytime touchdown parlay that's 38-1 that is based around AJ Brown being a diva and birthdays. So
Okay.
we'll start with AJ Brown. AJ Brown makes that cryptic tweet, that quote saying, that if people aren't paying attention to you, just, put your head down and walk away. He's going to get the ball. This ties in with your pick. So I love AJ Brown this week. It's Michael Pittman Jr.'s birthday on Saturday.
Okay.
Let's add him into it. Travis Kelce's birthday is on Sunday. I know they play Monday night, but we're going to add him into the parlay. And then Cam Scatterbo. 38-1 for AJ Brown, Michael Pittman Jr., Travis Kelce, and Cam Scatterbo. By the way, I might do this birthday thing every week if it hits.
Bro, I kind of combined your picks with my picks for a nice one. You ready for this?
Yeah.
AJ Brown. So this will be the show one. Do you trust me enough to speak on your behalf and have you co-sign this?
Go ahead.
All right. AJ Brown anytime. Michael Pittman Jr. anytime. Jalen Hurts 2 passing touchdowns. Alvin Kamara anytime touchdown 25-1.
Perfect.
2 for you, 2 for me, 25-1.
One of these got to hit.
Listen, we get one. We've gotten so close, and I know a lot of people when they parlay, they always say like, dude, it was one leg. But like, I'm talking about touchdowns getting called back, tackled at the 2-yard line. You're like, ah. So yeah, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, same game parlay of those two, by the way, 6-1. I like that. And then Kamara and Pittman to score touchdowns, 25-1. That's the show, y'all.
That's it.
That's the show. George, you got anything to plug?
Oh, let's see here, Nick. This will be the first weekend that I get to sit on my couch on an NFL Sunday and watch football from start to finish. So I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest extent. Shit, what else is there to plug, dude? Misunderstood with Rachel Yucatel. Still #1 in entertainment news. 3 weeks in a row now. I'm the producer of that show, so check it out. We just had on and I should reach out to this dude. We might be able to get him, but he goes to jail next Friday. Otani's interpreter.
Whoa.
Yeah. He was down in Florida and Rachel was able to secure that interview. So I don't know.
We could hop on a Riverside.
We could hop on a collect call from the whatever detention center he's in. But no, that's it. Let's have a great weekend, yeah?
Let's have a great weekend. Make sure you like, rate, review, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all social media outlets. I'm thinking about 25-1. I'm very excited.
I was thinking 110-1. That was
We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.